Hi there, it's Cath here on Work Wednesdays to give you some tips when creating your CV. First of all, a couple of quick run-through tips. Try to keep your CV to 2 pages. Any longer than 2 pages and it becomes a bit more onerous for an employer to sift through when you might have a number of candidates and applications for the post. When you're creating your CV, you want to get it really eye-catching. So try and pick a really easy to read font. The more creative or the more elaborate the font, sometimes it can be a bit harder to read, so try to keep with something basic. And our tip would be to go no smaller than size 12 in the font, even if you're trying to cram your CV into 2 pages, because any smaller than that it becomes really difficult to read. Another tip would be to use subheadings. Subheadings help break it up for the reader. Bold and underline the subheadings just to make it so it's really easy to read, and as you would want to receive it if you would receive, say, 60 applications for a post. What we would suggest these days, things have changed over the years with CVs, but try not to include things that will identify you, like your gender, nationality, your date of birth. It doesn't need to go on there, and please don't put photos on your CV. What we would suggest as well is that you spell check it before you send it off. But your CV is a 30-second window to the employer, so what we would recommend is your personal profile needs to be really catchy and really grab the employer's attentions to entice them to want to read further. I always think of a personal profile as having a beginning, middle and end. Your beginning needs to explain your skills, your qualities and what you can bring to the employer. Try to think a bit more out of the box than just things like team player and good timekeeping skills, because that's things that they'll naturally expect. Try and think about what stands you out from the crowd. The middle section, I would try to talk about things about the experience and what you can do. What experience have you got to bring to the table, and how is that gonna, sell you to the employer? And at the end is where you want to be. So you've got beginning, middle and end. The key is to tailor your CV, especially that personal profile, to each job you apply for. A job that you apply for in the care sector might be very different to a job that you apply for and the skills you want to emphasise if you are applying for a retail post or an administration post or whatever it might be. So look at the job specification before you do that. Join Helena next week. She's going to take you through your employment history and your qualifications section of your CV. But all the best. Thank you. Bye.